You're staring at your phone, waiting for a message that just won't come. Your mind loops through the same thoughts again and again. Doubt, hope, doubt again. Your chest tightens with anxiety, and you can't stop asking yourself, what changed? Did I do something wrong? Maybe I'm just not important to him anymore. Sound familiar? We've all been there. In those moments, we drift away from our inner wisdom, lost in self-doubt, shame, and confusion. But what if I told you that the answers you're looking for aren't out there? They're already inside you, hidden in the quiet depths of your unconscious, the part of your psyche that Carl Jung devoted his life to studying, the part that knows more than you realize, the part that's always been trying to speak to you. In today's video, we're going to explore what happens inside us when we're consumed by fear, uncertainty, and silence in relationships. We'll talk about the subconscious, how it uses emotions and intuition to guide us. We'll explain what Jung meant by the shadow and how understanding it can help you stop torturing yourself with doubt. You'll discover why it's okay to let some people go, how to choose yourself without guilt, and why setting yourself free leads to real inner peace. Watch until the end, because by the time we're done, you'll know how to stop waiting for the message that never comes and finally start living from a place of strength, self-worth, and calm. Let's begin. The subconscious isn't just a forgotten basement of your mind filled with dusty memories and strange dreams. According to Carl Jung, it's a living, breathing force that influences your life in every moment, even when you're unaware of it. It speaks to you through emotion, through discomfort, through instinct. But in the noise of everyday life, we're taught to ignore those signals. So when anxiety creeps in, when you find yourself waiting, longing, or doubting in a relationship, that's not just your imagination. That's your inner voice, trying to warn you. We often dismiss our gut feelings as overthinking or being too emotional. But Jung believed the exact opposite. Intuition is not weakness. It's one of the deepest sources of truth. Your fears, your doubts, that feeling that something's off. Those aren't just feelings. They're clues. Let's say someone starts pulling away. You feel a shift. Messages become colder, less frequent. Suddenly, you're the only one initiating contact. Your conscious mind rushes in with excuses. Maybe they're just busy. They're probably going through a hard time. Maybe I said something wrong. But while your thoughts scramble to explain, your subconscious is already reacting, sending signals, a tightness in your chest, a sense of unease, a lingering sadness. And Jung would say, that's the moment to listen, because when your emotions contradict your logic, you must trust your emotions. They speak the language of the unconscious. They are not random. They are not wrong. They are trying to lead you back to the truth. Let's pause for a second. If this message is already resonating with something inside you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your story in the comments below. This is Psychology of Happiness, where we uncover the wisdom hidden deep inside you. Now let's dive even deeper. Have you ever found yourself replaying a conversation, searching for signs that maybe you were wrong, that maybe you're just too sensitive, that maybe your expectations are the problem? This is where we fall into the trap of self-blame. We twist ourselves into knots trying to make sense of someone else's coldness. But the better question is, why are you so desperate to be reassured of your worth? That's the question that leads us straight to the shadow. Jung defined the shadow as the hidden part of ourselves, the traits, fears, and emotions we've been taught to reject, the pieces of us we push down because we think they make us unlovable. But here's the truth. The shadow never goes away. It waits, and it shows up loudly in the moments we feel abandoned, dismissed, or unseen. Now imagine this. You meet someone online. The connection feels effortless. They message you sweet things. They ask about your day. They want to meet. You feel like they really care. Then suddenly, everything shifts. Texts slow down. Replies become one-word answers. You start taking all the initiative. You tell yourself, they're probably just overwhelmed. Maybe I came on too strong. I'll give them some space, but your body's already speaking the truth. A weight in your chest, restlessness, sadness that you can't explain. Jung said, when our logic and our emotions clash, we must choose to trust the emotion because it knows something we haven't admitted yet. But why do we feel so wounded when someone pulls away? It's rarely just about them. Often, these moments awaken something much deeper inside us. In psychology, this is known as the activation of emotional wounds. Unhealed pain from the past, from childhood, from former relationships, or from the deep-rooted belief that we are not enough. Jung explained this through the concept of the shadow, the part of the psyche that stores everything we don't want to face. Fear, doubt, shame, unworthiness. We learn to hide these feelings early in life, when being too emotional or too needy made us feel rejected. So we bury those parts. We learn to smile instead, to act unbothered, to say, I'm fine. But what's buried doesn't disappear. It festers in the dark. And when someone we care about starts withdrawing, it's not just disappointment we feel, it's pain. Sharp, disproportionate, deep. That's the shadow speaking. Because the silence of another person awakens a terrifying fear. What if I'm just not enough? And so we start performing, pleasing, proving, not to win the person back, but to silence the unbearable voice inside that whispers, you're not lovable unless someone chooses you. This is where our inner work begins. Jung never saw the shadow as something bad. He didn't call it a flaw. He called it a teacher. Every time we're triggered by rejection or indifference, it's a sign that a part of us still needs our attention. For example, if someone's coldness makes you feel invisible, the pain isn't only about them. It's because you already carry the belief that you're not seen, not valued, and the person, they're simply mirroring what's already inside you. That's why we attach so intensely, not to the person themselves, but to what they symbolize, to the illusion of acceptance, to the fantasy that if they choose us, we'll finally feel worthy. The shadow also shows up in how we respond to others' pain. Let's say a friend tells you, he's probably found someone better. That's why he doesn't text. Do you rush to comfort her? Or do you feel irritation? Maybe even anger? That reaction? It's not random. It's a clue. It may be touching a hidden fear within you, a fear of being replaced, of being not enough, of being left behind. When you begin to see your shadow, to recognize how deeply it influences your emotions, you begin to reclaim your power, because now you're no longer controlled by unconscious pain. You're making conscious choices. You stop chasing people who aren't emotionally available, not because they're bad, but because you finally realize their distance says more about them than it does about you. And that realization frees you. So how can you tell if someone genuinely values you, or if you're just clinging to an illusion? Here's the truth. Real connection doesn't confuse you. It doesn't leave you guessing. It's not about grand gestures or poetic texts in the beginning. It's about consistency, respect, emotional presence. Ask yourself, do they show up even when it's inconvenient? Do they care how you feel? Or do they only appear when they benefit from the interaction? If you constantly find yourself wondering, am I important to them? That's your answer. People who truly value you don't keep you in doubt. Jung said, the subconscious always knows the truth, even when the conscious mind clings to illusion. So if being with someone feels like a game of emotional hide and seek, if your peace constantly depends on whether they reply or not, that's not love. That's a signal from within. It's your soul saying you're looking for safety in the wrong place. True connection doesn't make you doubt your worth. It doesn't leave you spinning in anxiety. It helps you grow. It gives you room to breathe, to be fully, unapologetically yourself. Another way to tell, how do they show up when you're in pain? Are they still there when you're not smiling? When you're vulnerable, lost, or struggling? Do they disappear? Or do they lean in? People who truly care about you don't disappear when it's inconvenient. They don't ignore your emotions. They don't make you feel like a burden. Their presence brings calm, not chaos. But here's where we often struggle. We don't trust our instincts. We second-guess our feelings. We keep giving benefit of the doubt, even when the truth is right in front of us. Why? Because to admit the truth would mean we have to act, to change, to let go. And that is terrifying. So we stay, we wait, we hope, even when every part of us knows this isn't what we deserve. Let's pause again for a moment. If any of this has stirred something inside you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Psychology of Happiness. We create weekly videos to help you understand yourself, your subconscious, and your relationships. And leave a comment, because sometimes your story helps others feel less alone. Now let's continue. So how do you really begin to trust your inner voice? Start with a simple but powerful practice. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Take 3 deep breaths. Now think about the person you've been worrying about. What do you feel in your body? Tension, tightness in the chest, shallow breathing, a sense of dread, or maybe relief? The body doesn't lie. It speaks on behalf of your soul, and the truth is often felt before it's understood. So next time you find yourself obsessing over a cold message or waiting endlessly for a reply, don't act immediately. Pause. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Is it joy or fear, confidence or desperation? If your reaction is filled with anxiety, if you feel a sudden urge to prove your worth, that's not love. That's a wound. That's your shadow, and it's asking for your attention. Now let's go even deeper. Write down what you feel. Keep a journal of your emotional reactions. What do their messages stir in you? What does their silence trigger? Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns, and those patterns will reveal something powerful. It's not really about them. It's about how you relate to yourself, because your subconscious has always been speaking to you, but only those willing to listen will ever truly change their lives. When you become aware of your emotional responses, ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Why does this distance hurt so much? Often their behavior mirrors something old, an early wound, a memory, a fear of being unwanted. The truth is, these feelings existed long before this person showed up. They only activated what was already inside you. But what exactly causes us to become so emotionally dependent on someone's attention? Why are we so afraid of being alone? The answer lies in the depths of our psyche, in what Jung called the shadow. Let's explore it. The shadow is everything we don't want to see in ourselves. Fear, insecurity, loneliness, self-doubt. It forms early when we're told which parts of us are acceptable and which should be hidden. But what we suppress doesn't disappear. It lives on, shaping our choices, our relationships, our emotional reactions, especially when someone ignores us or pulls away. We don't just feel sad, we feel worthless, unseen, erased. But it's not the person causing this. It's the shadow surfacing, reminding us of the parts of ourselves we've disowned. We think, if they leave, it must mean I'm not enough. And so we chase. We try to earn back their affection, not because of love, but to avoid the terror of facing our own emptiness. But Jung believed the shadow isn't our enemy, it's our guide. If you feel pain, if you feel rejection, don't run from it. Ask yourself, what part of me is reacting right now? What am I really afraid of? That question leads to healing, because the more we ignore the shadow, the more it controls us. It keeps us stuck, chasing unavailable people, seeking approval where there is none, longing for attention like a lifeline. But once we become aware, we gain something invaluable: power. The power to say, I am not defined by who ignores me. My worth isn't up for debate. I don't need to earn love. Here's the truth Jung taught. We rarely see people as they are. We see them through the lens of our own projections. Our subconscious paints others with the colors of our inner world. When we fall in love or become attached, we're often not responding to the real person, but to what they represent. Maybe we see confidence and feel drawn because it reflects a quality we haven't fully claimed in ourselves. Maybe we feel hurt by their distance because it triggers our own fear of abandonment. In other words, we're not seeing them, we're seeing ourselves. And that's what projection is. It's when your inner world spills onto the outer world, unconsciously. We assign people roles: savior, villain, soulmate, monster. But what if they're none of those things? What if they're just them? The moment you realize this, you become free, because now you're no longer trying to win someone's love. You're no longer attached to the illusion they represent. You ask yourself, what about their behavior actually hurts me? Is this about them or about my own beliefs? Sometimes the answer is liberating. You realize you weren't chasing them. You were chasing the fantasy, a projection created by your wounded subconscious. And the moment you name the projection, it loses its power. Jung said, as soon as we make the projection conscious, it no longer rules us. You stop seeing them as the only one who could love you. You stop making them a mirror of your worth, and instead you begin to see them clearly. Just another human being, not your salvation, not your destruction. Just someone who was part of your journey. And that clarity, that's peace. So if someone pulls away and you find yourself clinging, ask yourself, what exactly am I trying to get? Love? Validation? A sense of being needed? If the answer is tied to your self-worth, then this isn't about them. It's about you. That's why so many people suffer after being ghosted or ignored. They feel like they've lost a part of themselves. But the truth, you can't lose what already lives inside you. Love, confidence, belonging. Those aren't gifts someone gives you. They're things you remember within yourself. So how do you stop chasing people who are emotionally unavailable? How do you choose yourself without guilt? You learn the art of letting go. Letting go is not weakness. It's not giving up. It's not failure. It's strength. It's a conscious decision to stop holding on to what hurts, to stop waiting for someone who won't show up, and to start showing up for yourself. Many fear this step because it feels like losing hope, but it's actually losing the illusion. We often cling to people not because we need them, but because we're scared to face the emptiness we believe they're filling. But that emptiness, it's not a punishment. It's a space where something new, something real can grow. And once you release what's not aligned with your soul, your subconscious responds with relief. You may have felt it before. The moment you truly decide to stop chasing someone, it's like a weight falls off your chest. That's not just coincidence. That's your soul exhaling. That's your energy returning to you. Letting go is not passive. It's not helpless. It's powerful. It means you no longer wait. You no longer beg. You no longer try to convince someone of your worth. Instead, you begin to invest your energy back where it belongs, in yourself. And the moment you stop pouring into connections that keep you in limbo, the world opens. New people arrive, aligned people, people who see you without needing to be convinced. Choosing to walk away from someone who cannot meet you emotionally is not defeat. It's self-respect. Because real love never makes you feel unworthy. Real love isn't hot and cold. It isn't silence followed by crumbs of attention. It isn't confusion wrapped in chemistry. If someone keeps you doubting, if their presence feels like a game of emotional tag, ask yourself, why am I still holding on? True strength is whispering to yourself, I deserve more. It's walking away even when your heart aches. It's realizing you're not losing someone who truly values you. You're making room for someone who does. And most importantly, you're making room for yourself, your peace, your freedom, your joy. If this video helped you reconnect with your truth, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Psychology of Happiness. We dive deep into topics like the subconscious, shadow work, and emotional healing to help you live fully, consciously, and freely. Share in the comments. Have you ever felt your subconscious trying to warn you? Have you experienced a moment when you finally listen? Your story could help someone else take their first step toward freedom. Thank you for watching. And remember, letting go is not the end. It's the beginning of coming home to you.